Congress is speeding toward a shutdown deadline. Vice President JD Vance got a frosty reception at a DC concert, and controversy over a baby wombat video is sweeping Australia. That's some of what we'll get to on The 7 from The Washington Post. I'm Rennie Svirnovsky, in for Hannah Jewell. It's Friday, March 14th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. Congress has hours left to avert a federal government shutdown. The government is set to shut down at 12:01 a.m. Eastern, unless lawmakers pass a bill to keep it open. A Republican bill to avert a shutdown passed the House on Tuesday, so now it's down to the Senate. But passing it before the deadline could be complicated. Republicans require a handful of Democratic votes to clear a 60-vote threshold. So Democrats are trapped between a rock and a hard place. They either support a bill that could help to enable President Donald Trump's agenda, or reject it and risk being blamed for a disruptive federal shutdown. The bill won some key Democratic support yesterday. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said he plans to vote for the GOP bill.
For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. It is not a clean CR. It is deeply partisan. It doesn't address far too many of this country's needs. But I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
Schumer has privately told senators that there are enough Democratic votes to avert a shutdown, but it's still set to be a dramatic day on Capitol Hill. You can find live updates throughout the day on the Post homepage. Judges ordered Trump officials to offer jobs back to thousands of federal workers. That's number 2. Since he returned to office in January, Trump and his billionaire advisor Elon Musk have been on a mission to shrink and reshape the sprawling 2.3 million person workforce of the federal government. But yesterday, that effort hit its most significant roadblock so far. In 2 separate rulings in Maryland and California, judges found legal issues with the Trump administration's mass firings of probationary workers. They ordered the administration to offer jobs back to thousands of probationary workers, and it means Trump now has to appeal and win in 2 legal cases to get his workforce reductions back on track. Meanwhile, Vice President JD Vance got a pretty rough reception as he and his wife took their seats for a concert at the Kennedy Center in D.C. last night. The reception is perhaps not surprising. President Trump has been trying to overhaul the Kennedy Center, and that has put the arts community on edge. And the D.C. region is also home to a lot of federal workers whose jobs are under threat. Number 3. Trump asked the Supreme Court to allow a birthright citizenship ban to proceed in some states. Birthright citizenship is a right enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. It automatically grants citizenship to any person born on U.S. soil, regardless of their parents' nationality. And Trump wants to end the practice. Shortly after he returned to office, he signed an executive order telling government agencies to stop issuing citizenship documentation to babies born in the United States to parents who lack legal status. Judges have issued nationwide orders blocking Trump's executive action. But while those cases play out, Trump wants a ban to take effect in 28 states that are not participating in the legal action against it. Yesterday, he asked the Supreme Court to make that happen. But experts say different rules for different states would be unmanageable. U.S. intelligence has cast doubt on Russia's willingness to end its war against Ukraine. That's number 4. Yesterday, the Post reported on some classified intelligence reports, including one from earlier this month. They suggest that Russian President Vladimir Putin still seems bent on dominating Ukraine. The reports underscore the tough task facing Trump as he aims to set up peace talks between the 2 neighboring countries. Yesterday, Putin reacted cautiously to a 30-day ceasefire proposal that U.S. and Ukrainian officials agreed on this week. While not rejecting it outright, he hinted that Moscow might place conditions on any agreement, like not ceding any of the territory Russia has seized in Ukraine, not allowing Ukraine to join NATO, and sanctions relief on Russia. Some current and former U.S. officials said that the Russian leader, even if he agreed to a temporary truce, would use it to rest and refit his troops. And they warned that he was likely to break the terms of the deal by creating a provocation that he would blame on Ukraine. Number 5. A plane caught fire at Denver International Airport yesterday. The American Airlines commercial flight was traveling from Colorado Springs to Dallas-Fort Worth when the crew reported engine vibrations. The flight was diverted to Denver, and after the plane landed, its engine caught fire while it was taxiing to a gate. Video posted on social media appeared to show passengers exiting the plane onto the wing on one side. Flames engulfed part of the plane below the wing on the other side, and thick smoke poured into the air. 12 people were taken to hospitals with minor injuries. This year has brought a string of high-profile aviation incidents. In January, a mid-air collision between an Army Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines regional jet killed 67 people near Reagan National Airport in the D.C. area. And last month, a Delta Airlines regional jet flipped during landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport. Microplastics appear to be disrupting the growth of plants. That's number 6. By now, you've definitely heard of microplastics. They're these tiny particles, pieces of plastic less than 5 millimeters in size. That's around the size of a pencil eraser. And they are everywhere, surging through rivers and streams, burrowing deep into soils, and turning up in our livers, blood, brains. Well, new research shows that microplastics are also slashing photosynthesis rates worldwide, and that could impact large-scale crops that humans depend on, like wheat, corn, and rice. Now, crop yields have been on the rise for many years. Corn yields, for example, increased by 47% between 1981 and 2010. Soybean yields have increased by about the same amount. And the study is new, and its results are preliminary, based largely on findings from lab experiments, not field studies. But if microplastics are interfering with the photosynthesis of major crops, that means those yields might have been even higher in a world without microplastics in the soil, water, and air. And number 7. An American influencer snatched a baby wombat from its mom, sparking outrage across Australia. In a 34-second clip posted to social media, a woman identified by Australian media as Samantha Strable, an outdoor influencer, grabs a joey from the side of the road and runs with it, its feet dangling as its mother follows suit.
I caught her baby wombat! Okay, Mama's right there, and she is pissed. Let's let him go.
No, he's right.
All right.
She eventually placed the animal back on the road. The clip was shared widely online among Australians, who take fierce pride in their role as custodians to one of the richest and most varied wildlife ecosystems on the planet. Australia's Home Affairs Office launched an investigation into potential breaches of immigration law following the video, and the department is working through the conditions of Strable's visa. Over 24,000 people have signed an online petition calling for Australian authorities to deport the woman and ban her from future travels to the country. Strable reportedly left Australia this morning. That's the show for this week. The associate producer of The Seven is Taylor White. Special help this week from Claire Wallace and guest host Laura Benshoff. The staff writers are Jamie Ross and Hannah Jewell. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by Christina Quinn. Copy editing by Melissa No and Thomas Haliba. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. Renita Jablonski is our director of audio. I'm Rennie Smirnovsky. Thank you for listening and have a great weekend. Hannah will meet you back here on Monday.